Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Mike with ExpandingSound.com. Today I wanted to talk about the new Livetrak L6 Max by Zoom. I'm a big fan of these small recorders that they made. However, I made a video about a year ago about the Livetrak L6 and, spoke about my gripes with the machine and the things that I wish that they would have done differently. Now, my guess is that a lot of people had similar thoughts. Number one, because the video got some traction, but number two, the fact that Zoom is making a pro version of the same model just a year later is not really something that they do on many of their products, so it makes me feel like they've been listening to people's thoughts about it. Probably not just mine, obviously I'm sure they could care less about what I have to say about it, but if enough people talk and say, I wish you did this, I wish you did that, sometimes the companies listen and they make these upgraded models. Or maybe the plan was just to make this all along and get somebody like me to buy both. In any case, I wanted to talk about this machine because they did a lot of things that I liked, but they didn't quite hit the bullseye on everything, which is a shame because I really wanted to love this machine and have it, check all the boxes that I needed it to. And it checks a bunch, but it doesn't get them all. So I'm going to start with the positives here. The I/O, extra I/O is nice to have on it. The extra combo jacks that are in the front, the 3 and 4, that's cool. Not something I cared a lot about because I knew that this was a small form mixer to begin with, and 10 inputs was a decent amount to start with to begin with. Having 2 more, hey, it never hurts, right? So that's definitely a cool thing, so I'll take it. As far as the I/O goes, the thing that I like most is the sub out, which I think is a great idea because a lot of times I don't really like to cross over my sub frequencies in what I'm doing. And having a separate output with a send on it is a nice thing for sure, because that way for any DAWless jam that I plug this thing into, I can just send out separate sub frequencies. Or even if I did a little show with this thing, put the kick and the bass just into those channels and send them out to a subwoofer. That's a really nice small feature that will go a long way as far as it goes for my usage. I do like that. I love that they put a screen on this new model. I think that the screen was a necessity, and I did not like that it wasn't in the first one. I wasn't a fan of having to, say the date and time and go through that whole menu when you plug it in to set it up. I found that to be kind of annoying. And the screen makes it easier to access a lot of things without using the app. It just makes it more of an all-in-one unit, which is what I wanted it to be in the first place. Now that we're talking about the screen, there are some issues with it, but I'm going to get into that once I get into my gripes with what they did. Just another positive I'd like to mention first would be the fact that they added the -20 pads to the line inputs right on the front, which is great because if you have a hot signal coming in, having that pad right there is a really useful feature. Basically like throwing a DI on your mixer right there, and just having a pad built in is definitely a useful thing if you have a hot signal coming in. I like that. The scenes, keeping the scenes is good. One more thing that I'd like to say about this machine that I do like a lot is the fact that the audio interface setup is way easier than it was on the other one. On the other one, you have to hit these 2 buttons and hold them down, and the first unit that they shipped to me didn't even work. I had troubleshot it, I updated firmware, I did a bunch of different things for it, and it just never worked properly. I actually had to mail it back to Zoom, and they sent me a brand new one. The next one that they sent worked just fine. But it was kind of a pain in the ass just to have to hold the 2 buttons down to get it into interface setup. That's kind of silly. This one just works right out of the box. You pop the cable in, you're in audio interface mode. No issues there. And it is a great little tiny interface to just plug right into your computer. Battery operated, which I love. I think that, all these little mixers should be battery operated. That was a bummer for me when I saw that the R20 wasn't battery operated, and also didn't have a little slate mic on it. That was another gripe of mine with that machine. But now let's get into the things that I wish that they would have done differently. And a big one for me, the biggest one for me is, yes, you can multi-track with this unit, which you couldn't with the other one. The first original L6, it's either you're recording every channel or you're not recording every channel, and that was it. That's a nice feature. It's a little bonus, but all the other Livetraks you could multi-track with. So I was really bummed that there was no multi-track in that first L6. Well, now you can, but the way that you do it seems really roundabout and silly to me, and I'll explain. You can record over things that you've recorded, but you have to bounce down every track first. There is no way, as of now, to go into the machine and select specific channels to record and specific channels to play. You have to record every channel, then bounce them down to 2 channels and record over that. To me, that just seems kind of annoying. That isn't the way that I would have wanted things to be here. I do think now that there is a screen on here, hopefully in a firmware update or something like that, they can add a feature where you go into it and there's an input list and you can select the mode for each input. Like, let's say, track 1 I want to record, so I put track 1 in record mode, then track 2, 3, and 4 in play mode, and then just only that track 1 would record while the other ones were playing. It seems like something that they should be able to do. That's exactly how the other models work. You put them in either record mode or in play mode, and if they're in play mode, they play back what's already recorded. Seems easy enough. Now that there's a screen, you should be able to go into the features and set that up. I don't see why you can't. As of now, you can't. I'm hoping at some point in time in a firmware update that they get to that. The last thing I want to mention that I wish that they would have added to this machine, which would have been really nice, would be a little slate mic or a little condenser mic just built into it somewhere. I know it's a small form. I would have tried to figure out some way to get it just right in the front of the machine somewhere, or even on the side or whatever, because I still haven't sold my R24, even though I have other machines that do similar things, solely due to the fact that it has those stereo condenser mics right on the front of it. And are they the greatest mics? No, but they're so useful for just recording demos. It's so easy to just turn the thing on, hit record, play a guitar, turn it on, sing over it. Sometimes when you're just demoing something, you don't really want to set up a ton of cables. You're not looking to put your best mic out, putting an idea down and overdubbing over it and seeing what happens. So a little portable battery operated mixer that had, a little slate mic on it even would be useful enough. You could just record right on that, like the L12 has. I love that on the L12. There's a lot of times where I just record the little slate mic and just, come up with something. But the L12 doesn't work on batteries. So if it was on this machine, that would have just been such a useful feature. I wish it could have been here. I don't know why they didn't want to do it, because it was on all the old recorders they used to sell, and I just loved it. And I still use the R4 a lot solely because of the little microphone on there. Sometimes, again, you just want to record. You don't want to plug in a million things. So those are really my biggest gripes with this machine. One of them I think could be fixed, potentially. I don't know if it will be or if it's even possible, but it seems like something that should be able to be done in a firmware update. And the other one is something built into the hardware, which I don't see them being able to fix, which is unfortunate. I have a lot of these Zoom machines, and I like them, and they all, fit certain purposes. I keep hoping one day that they make one that just, checks every box that I have. It hasn't happened yet. I guess probably the one that gets closest is the R24 still. I plan to make a video about which machine I like best, since I have so many of them in the future. So if you're interested in these Zoom machines, hit that like button and subscribe. And I thank you for your time, and hopefully you found this informative when it comes to your own shopping needs. Thanks. Take care.